Ciao guys, Revu here. So since the Odyssey Plus came out, Samsung cut the price of the first generation for $150, so you can buy actually now for $350 with the same resolution of the screen and very similar specs so far to this Samsung Odyssey Plus. So what is this Plus? Is this Plus worth $150? Should you consider to get the first generation, the second generation, or none of those? Or maybe you want to upgrade from the first generation to the second. Is it really worth it? Well, let's find out in this video, because this is one of the biggest questions we had so far in the comments, so let's reply to it. Okay, so let's start talking about the first generation. As you might know, if you follow me since the beginning, I reviewed a lot. The first generation was actually my first video. I made the video over here and the honest review and everything. You're gonna find it in the cards and in the description below. So if you wanna follow up all this story about the Samsung Odyssey, I made also a playlist with the story about it, so you can check it out for sure. I'm just sorry because the quality of the video wasn't the best back then, but we're still improving, so never settle on that. By the way, the first thing I want to talk about is the comfort. Now, with this second generation, with the Plus, that I will not really consider second generation by the way, but like if the Odyssey was a generation 1.5 from the regular Windows Mixed Reality headset for a better resolution and a better quality overall, I always consider this an edition 1.6 because really there's no many difference, and for some people actually the first generation may work even better than the second generation. But starting with the comfort, the weight was 1.42 pounds. That is pretty much 650 grams, 660 grams, and that was pretty heavy. And also the weight balance was a lot on the forehead. Now, many people love it. I'm not saying that it was uncomfortable, but in my case, with my face, my shape and everything, for me it was totally unusable. I had to return it, not because I didn't like the screen, actually I loved the screen, if you remember, but because I couldn't just fit it on my head. I was having migraine because it was pressing too much and was blocking my blood for the forehead, and that's something that shouldn't happen on a VR headset. Now, what they did with this one, they trimmed the weight by around 50 grams. That is not so much, but in a VR headset on your head, you can feel the difference for sure. And also, they balanced the weight in a different way, changing also the padding all around, because here they're made in cloth, are softer. In the first generation they were made in fake leather and they weren't soft at all, and you could feel like the plastic under it. Well, with this for now, I'm wearing it from pretty much 2 weeks, of course not all the time, but I'm using it a lot as a primary VR headset, and I have to say that it's keeping well, and I can fit it for a long time. It's not the most comfortable headset by the way, but it's more comfortable and it's lighter. Now, talking about the audio, is very similar, but I feel like this audio is a little better than the one in the first generation. The earpieces are more comfortable here, they lay better on your ears, but they have the same problem of the first generation. They don't go down so much. As you can see, they don't have so much play with it. So if you had problem in the first generation, the fact that it wasn't fitting your ears, well, you're gonna have the exact same situation over here. And also these are not removable, so yeah, you can remove it, cut the cable, but that's all you can do, and it's not really something that I will do on a $500 headset or a $350 headset. So there's something that you have to consider for sure. Something that I fix also is the fact that here the cover is removable. As you can see now, I put a VR cover. It's not ideal, it's from the Oculus Rift. It fits pretty well as you can see, but you have a lot of light bleeding around. So I will wait for something made for the Odyssey instead to go for something else. And talking about the space over here, why it fits the Oculus Rift cover too, well, the space here is wider. You're not gonna have the problem that the stick are gonna eat the part over here. You're gonna have more space. If you have a wide face, it will be perfect. And something that some people were complaining because it was too small at the beginning to wear glasses. Well, With these, you're not gonna have that problem. A problem that you will have probably is the lenses are exactly the same distance from your eyes. So if you have thick glasses, probably will not be the best. The best option you can do is take a cover, double it down, so put a thicker cover so you stay farther from the lenses themselves. So not such an improvement over there for the comfort with glasses. Yes, you have full space on the wide part, but not really on the depth. And then of course we have to talk about the screen technology with the anti-STE effects, like is it good, is it not, does it work that alone, $150? Well, this is a particular thing. Now, as you can see from the True the Lenses video that I posted over here or in the description below, of course, and also as I explained in my focus on the screen, well, the screen is different from the first generation. You have the same pentile AMOLED display, but you lose, as I said, some brightness and some colors and some clarity overall. But the screen door effect, so the lines that you have on top, are pretty much gone. You don't see those black lines anymore, you see like a shade of that line. You can notice like a canvas effect. It's like if you have a cloth in front of the vision, and it's better and not. It really depends on you. Do you prefer clarity or do you prefer to have a more realistic view? Well, for me, I have to say that now using the Vive Pro or this one, I prefer this one because it's a more realistic view and I never get focus on the screen door effect. And going back and forth to one to the other, well, you can notice that a lot. And in the first Odyssey, you will have the same screen door effect. With this, they're pretty much completely gone. And if the screen door effect is something that works a lot for you, is something that you completely hate, you turn off the immersion, well, so these for sure would worth $150. Now, you're considering one not the other. Should you go for the top or should you go for the first generation one? Well, if the screen door effect is not a problem for you, but you just want more resolution, probably the first generation would be good for you. But be aware that it's not as comfortable as this one. So let's get to the end. Should you consider upgrading from one to the other? Well, the answer for me is no. If you're okay with the first generation, you're gonna have just a shade of difference in the screen with this like a little blur effect that is gonna take out the screen door effect. If you're really bothered about the screen door effect, well, so it's a solution, you can go for it. If not, don't bother. If you like your first generation, you'll be fine enough. Instead, if you're like me and it's not just about the screen, but also the fact that you couldn't fit the first generation, was too heavy, it wasn't really working for you, well, so you should reconsider it with this. $150 would give you a lighter device, also more comfortable by the way, and it's gonna give you also an improvement on the screen that is not bad at all. Now, if it's your first headset in life, well, I will go for this one probably because $150, not so much more, and you have the latest and greatest in technology right now, and you have something new, something that people, you know, they don't really have. Not everybody has an anti-STE filter on it, so you're gonna say, screen door effect? What is that? Instead, if you want to save some bucks, well, the first generation will be still great, an amazing device, amazing to use, and you're not gonna have problems at all. You're gonna have still the same amazing Samsung AMOLED display with a bigger resolution on the screen market right now for VR, and you're gonna be able to spot every enemy in every distance like people are doing with the Vive Pro and with the Odyssey Plus as well. But there, the enemies are gonna be a little softer overall in the background. Anyway guys, I hope I answered your question about it. As I said, for me, yes, it is worth it, $150, but it's really up to you. What do you prefer? What you're looking for? Let me know in the comment below. And if you liked the video, like. If you didn't like the video, dislike. Subscribe to the channel for more about VR and tech in general. I see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Ciao.